Klipper firmware is awesome, and with the built-in web interface for every single install, I've been running a lot of my printers headless or without a screen for this past year. For me, this has worked well, but the ability to go up to your printer to check quickly on status or make some slight adjustments can be very useful. With Klipper, an LCD screen like the 12864 will natively work, but a lot of the LCD screens that ship with Marlin printers, especially the touchscreen ones or even some of the ones that use the traditional scroll wheel, have their own independent firmware and are not compatible with Klipper. This is where KlipperScreen comes in, an absolutely beautiful touchscreen interface that's compatible with any 3D printer that's running Klipper, that's very easy to set up and fully customizable. It's compatible with just about any touchscreen that can connect directly to a Raspberry Pi, giving you a very wide range of screens to choose from. In today's video, we'll go through the process of getting KlipperScreen up and running on your 3D printer that's running Klipper firmware. So with all that being said, and without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Massive thanks to MicroSwiss for sponsoring today's video. MicroSwiss manufactures hot ends, extruders, and nozzles for over 30 different 3D printer models and is constantly expanding. I've been running their upgrades on a wide range of Creality printers for over 2 years now and have printed everything from standard PLA to carbon fiber nylon with them. I love that they're based in the US and that all their products are machined in-house. This helps them to maintain the extremely high level of quality that their customers have grown to expect. Another huge perk is that their upgrades are made for specific machines, making them drop-in replacements in most instances. This helps expedite the upgrade process and allows you to get up and running again quickly. Links will be in the description to find out more about the various upgrades they offer or to pick up your own. To follow along with this video, you'll want to already have a printer that's running Klipper. For this, I'm going to be using the Voron 0.1 LDO kit that I built earlier this year. If you don't already have Klipper installed, I have done a couple of videos on various ways that you can run Klipper, and I'll have those linked in the description. Aside from the printer, you'll also need to have a touchscreen capable of connecting directly to the Pi. I'm going to be using a 5-inch touchscreen from EVICIV that was originally sent to me to be installed on the FL Sun SR. The screen has worked great for me, and there's also a list of confirmed working screens available on the official KlipperScreen website. Before touching any of the electronics, the first thing I recommend doing is powering off your printer. Then we will need to connect the screen to our Pi. Depending on your screen, this can be done over HDMI or using the DSI ribbon cable. For short distances, I don't mind using the ribbon cable, but if your screen is not close to the Pi, I usually opt for an HDMI cable, which is what I will be using. Plug one end into your screen and the other end into your Raspberry Pi. Next, we need to power our screen, and this screen in particular has two 5-volt inputs. One of them is just labeled 5-volt input, and the other one is labeled 5-volt touch. I would need to supply 5 volts to both of these ports if I was going to be using the screen to power the Pi, but in my case, I've already got the Pi being powered off of the printer's power supply using a buck converter, which is very likely going to be what many of you are also running. Because of that, I just need to supply power to the 5-volt touch input, and I will use a micro USB cable to plug one end into that port and the other end into our 3D printer's Raspberry Pi. With the screen connected, we can now power on our printer, and if everything goes correctly, you should see scrolling text and the Raspberry Pi terminal being displayed. If that's not the case, then double check to make sure that you have both the power cable plugged into the right spot and that your HDMI cable or your ribbon cable is securely fastened. Next, we will hop over to our computer and connect to our Pi through SSH. For Mac, I'll be using the Terminal app, and for Windows, you can either use PuTTY or on Windows 10, it's built into PowerShell. In the terminal, we will type SSH space Pi and then at your Pi's IP. If you've been running Klipper on your printer before this video, you should know the IP, but if not, you can easily get it from your router. If you get a fingerprint warning, type yes to continue and then enter in your password. By default, this is Raspberry and you will have connected to your Pi. Now we're going to go through 2 ways of installing KlipperScreen. Both of them are very simple, and in the end, you will get the same result. I've been using Kaya a lot recently, and in my opinion, it is the easiest and best way to install, update, or manage Klipper. So we'll start with using Kaya. I covered it quite a bit in my recent video on using a laptop to run Klipper, but Kaya is a script that automates just about everything for getting Klipper and all of its add-ons installed. I'll have the GitHub links in the description of this video so that you can easily go there and just copy and paste commands, but I'll also have them on screen if you want to follow along and type them in. The first thing we need to do is install Git. To do this, we will enter sudo apt-get install git-y and hit enter. Next, we will type git clone followed by the GitHub URL for the KIA Git package. Lastly, we will type ./KIA/KIA.h to run the KIA script. Once the script executes, you'll be greeted by the terminal menu interface. The right side will tell us a bit about our Klipper install, and in my case, I have one instance of Klipper running on the Pi with both Moonraker and Mainsail installed. If we look 2 down from Mainsail, we can see KlipperScreen showing in red as not installed. Type 1 in the console and hit enter to get into the install menu. Then type 5 and hit enter to begin installing KlipperScreen. This will begin the installation process, which will take a while. In my case, I timed it and the first time was about 10 minutes, so it's a great time to get up and stretch your legs. Once the installation is completed, it will ask you for your password one more time, which again is Raspberry unless you've changed it. Once you enter your password, Moonraker and KlipperScreen service will restart. It may take a moment, but if you look over at your LCD screen, you should now see KlipperScreen up and running. At this point, you can close out of your terminal and enjoy your new touchscreen interface. If for some reason you don't want to use KIA, I don't know what your reason would be, you can install it also without using the KIA script. You will need to start off by using the terminal to SSH into your Pi like we did a moment ago. We installed Git with the KIA method, but if you do not use that method, you'll need to start by entering sudo apt-get install git-y. After hitting enter, type git clone and the URL for the klipperscreen.git package. Once that's completed, type cd://klipperscreen to navigate to the KlipperScreen directory. Lastly, type in ./scripts/klipperscreen-install.sh to begin the install. This will take a few minutes. In my case, it was actually quicker, about half the time compared to using the KIA installer, but I have a feeling that a major part of that was because even though I uninstalled KlipperScreen from the KIA method, a lot of the packages and dependencies and things that were needed were still on the Pi. Once it completes, you should see KlipperScreen running. Since we're not using the KIA method, we'll need to add 127.0.0.1 under trusted clients in our Moonraker config file. To do this, we'll click on Machine in Mainsail and click on the Moonraker config to open it. Towards the top, under Authorization, you will see Trusted Clients. At the end of this list, hit enter to add a new line and type 127.0.0.1. You also have the option to use Moonraker Update Manager for KlipperScreen. To do this, you'll need to add a block of code to the bottom of the Moonraker config file. I'll have that page for this linked in the description. Make sure to copy over everything but the final line starting in Managed Services, or you will get a Moonraker warning. KIA will add the code automatically and omit that line. All that's left is to save the updated Moonraker config file. With that complete, you should now be up and running with KlipperScreen, or at least have a much better understanding of the installation process if this is something that you're considering doing. The process is super simple and shouldn't take more than about 10 minutes from the time you've connected your screen to your Pi. I've really enjoyed using it and feel like it adds quite a bit of utility to my printers. I'm also very happy with the default theming, but if for some reason you are adventurous, there is a little bit of information on the official KlipperScreen website that goes over theming, which is primarily using, it looks like, CSS, as well as some options for adding additional macros to the screen. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below and I will do my absolute best to answer. Also, the KlipperScreen channel in the official Klipper Discord has been a great place to ask questions. On that note, don't forget to like and subscribe for more great videos. We make a video every single week, so there's always fresh content coming your way. And if you do want to support the channel furthermore, I'll have links down below in the description over to our Patreon, where there are some really awesome rewards. Huge thank you to all of our existing Patreon supporters. I appreciate each and every one of you for allowing me to come back every single week and spend more time doing what I love, which is making content for you all to enjoy. On that note, this has been Daniel from Modbot, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Peace, guys.